Hey, Warren Eckstein here. Every once in a while, a call comes into the pet show that really hits home and really breaks my heart. One of those calls came in not too long ago. Now, I also received an email, a long email from the listener. This is a great listener of mine, lives in Georgia, lovely lady, takes care of a lot of dogs. However, you're going to hear the call coming up in a couple of minutes. But before we do that, let me just explain something to you. This call came in to the show, and it broke my heart. I had tears in my eyes thinking about what this poor dog was going through. They hired trainers. They went to veterinarians. Let me give you an example. They went to 2 veterinarians, and they were told that they can't handle the dog. The vets could not handle the dog. Well, maybe they shouldn't be vets. However, they went to a 3rd vet and said, you know what? Let me sit on the floor, get to know the dog a little bit. And then when they did that, the dog came around. Then they hired trainers, the newest trainer they hired. And I just got an email also from this woman. She says, here's exactly what's going on. The trainer now has them putting on a very tight collar around the dog's neck all day long and buzzing it every time he does anything that he says the dog shouldn't be doing, which is absolutely abusive, cruel, and should be illegal. Any electronic collars, as far as I'm concerned, should be illegal. But anyway, here's a dog that's showing aggressive behavior. You'll hear that in a call. The aggressive behavior is more of a fear, more of an under-socialized, underexposed. But now these owners, these guardians of the dog, have gone through trainers and veterinarians, and it's only what they're doing is only going to make the dog worse. So what happens? Breaks my heart. They're going to wind up giving up the dog. He's going to go to another home. Problem not resolved. They're going to wind up giving the dog, and the dog's going to wind up at shelter. 80 to 90% of dogs at shelters wind up there for behavior reasons. This is a 2-year-old young dog. It's a young dog. So many things that can be done to build up the dog's confidence, to build up the dog's self-image. What the trainer is doing is bringing the dog's self-confidence and self-image down. Shame, shame on that trainer. There are so many qualified trainers out there, but remember, check them out carefully, get references. Now, I would go to the vet that sat on the floor and hung out with the dog. That's the vet I would get a recommendation from. Anyway, I want you to listen to the call and see what you think about it.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
How's everything in beautiful Georgia today? Peachy, I bet, right?
Well, Georgia, it's a beautiful place. Nice weather, mediocre, a little rain coming in soon. So, but I sent you a long email, and then I thought it might be easier to call in so that I could dialogue with you, plus other people could hear, some of what you're going to help me with, because I'm trying to help some friends. I take care of a lot of pets, and this happens to be an 80-year-old couple. They have a 16-year-old dog, and they've rescued a puppy that's a doodle that was highly poorly cared for, let's put it that way. Like 27 pounds, it should have been 45 pounds when they got him. So they've been working with him, doing everything they can. They've gotten a trainer in, but there's some things that I'm concerned about that the trainer's doing, and the dog has started growling at people, really for his reasons he understands that, but clearly we don't. I know that. He doesn't growl at me, but he growls at other people if they just come up to him. He growls when he's eating, even if you're not standing near him, but not when I feed him, just when the owners feed him.
Well, you know what, Tia, let me just tell you right off the bat, that growling is not necessarily a bad thing. When a dog growls, what they're doing is they're letting whoever know that they're not feeling comfortable or mellow at that particular moment. So the growl is kind of like you saying to someone who comes up to you, not right now, get back to me in 5 or 10 minutes. I'm not feeling right now the way I want to feel. So when a dog growls, it's not necessarily a bad thing. He's just letting you know he's not ready for you at that point. If a dog doesn't growl, then you have to be more concerned. That's a different ballgame. So right off the bat, give me some indication. What is the trainer doing that you're not comfortable with?
Well, one thing is he's now got a big old tight collar on him, and they have to buzz him hard whenever he's doing anything, and he can hardly swallow. The thing's so darn tight.
What do you mean? What do you mean buzz him? Is the collar electric?
It's one that just buzzes them.
Now listen. They have a dog that's already the dog is not real confident about himself. Already the dog is growling at people and not feeling great. So if a trainer comes in there and starts using any type of training that gives a negative response to what the dog is doing, that's just going to make the problem a lot worse. What this dog needs right now, and I don't know the dog, but I'm just saying, just common sense tells me, after training 40,000, I got a good feel for this. What the dog needs right now is more socializing, more exposure, and little training at a time, maybe 5 minutes at a time, 3, 4 times a day, so he associates that with something positive. Right now, he's associating authority with something negative, which means he may accept authority from someone else, but may challenge other people. Not a good place to be. The dog needs more positive, more socialization, more exposure, and a trainer that comes in there with a hugs and kisses approach and takes that electronic collar or that buzz collar and puts it on himself. That's my opinion.
Okay. Well, one quick question for you, too, is the trainer now has them hand feeding the dog.
Why?
To stop him from the growl. Yes, to stop him. That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with it. I just want to make sure that I'm not.
No. Well, here's what you tell him. I don't know the background on the dog. I don't know where the dog came from. I don't know anything about the dog's feeding experiences. However, if the dog is growling when he's eating, chances tells me that the dog didn't get enough food and therefore is being a little protective over his food. So how do you resolve that? You don't resolve it by hand feeding him. What you resolve it is make him feel comfortable about eating. So what I would do is take his food, split it up into 3 different bowls, spread those bowls a few feet apart so he gets the idea that even if he finishes one bowl and someone approaches it, there's another bowl there and there's another bowl there. So there's no need over a period of time. He'll get the idea. There's no need to really be possessive over his food.
Yeah. Well, there are just lots of things like that I'm trying to help them with. And I'm in kind of at different places than the trainer is, but I'm also helping them by taking care of the dog sometimes, so they are giving an ear to what I share with them. And I've had, good success using your techniques because from your book and just listening to you, et cetera. So I just wanted to make sure that.
And what a wonderful person and friend you are. I don't know this other trainer, and years ago, now everyone, try to find someone who's not a dog trainer nowadays. I mean, seriously, everyone I know is a dog trainer nowadays, whether they're experienced or not experienced. What this trainer is doing, he's taking a negative approach. He's trying to resolve a problem rather than figuring out why the problem is there and taking the time to build up the confidence of the dog. He's going to knock the confidence of the dog down, which means the dog may even become more assertive and therefore wind up at a shelter a second or third time. I don't have to tell you what happens after that.
Yeah. Well, Warren, really critical. They took him to be groomed to a lady I recommended. Perfect. Everything went great the first time. I mean, they were just amazed. Second time, he growls and won't even let her groom him. The vet tried to do his toenails and anal gland the other day, and they had to muzzle him because he was so out of character.
My heart is breaking for this dog. What the dog needs is to be more socialized, more exposed. What the groomer should have recommended is, listen, why don't you bring the dog here without him having grooming? Why don't you just bring the dog here a couple of times, let him walk in, let me give him a treat, and then walk out and go home. Let him start associating only positive things. Sure. And little by little, all of that will come around. The same thing with the vet. I understand clipping a dog's nails is no thrill for any veterinarian or any groomer, especially a dog that's not used to it. So that's something you may have to work on. But right now, in terms of the training, not my approach. I know you have a copy of my book. Follow that advice as much as you can. I'm sure it'll help out. I'm going to put you on hold also, and I'm going to send you some Lucy pet food for them. But I want you to really stay with them. And I know you have, keep me kind of posted. There's not a whole lot I can do because they hired this trainer. I just hope I just hope that people check out their trainers as well as they check out a pediatrician for their children, because what a trainer can or cannot do can make the difference in whether the dog or cat is going to have an interesting, a happy, a joyful, and a peaceful life. Tila, I got to move on, but I'm going to put you on hold. I'm sending you some Lucy pet food. Thank you for calling and thank you for being so concerned. Paul, Don, Gail will get to you. Great time to call me. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. There's lots of fantastic trainers out there, lots of fantastic behaviorists as well. But sometimes you really have to work a little hard to find out what's going on. Just because someone has a shingle or a business card that says I'm a trainer, what is this guy doing? We have a dog that's not socialized, a dog that's not trained, a dog that's not feeling confident, a dog that's probably feeling insecure, and the approach he's taking is making the dog more insecure. Total mistake. Understand there's some fabulous trainers out there, especially we're so lucky to live here in LA. We got some amazing trainers right here in Southern California. Some not so amazing. There's an old joke among trainers, put 3 trainers in a room. The only thing they will agree on is that they all disagree. Well, now that you've heard the call, you can see why it was devastating to me. Having worked with thousands and thousands of dogs, many with similar issues, they were able to all come around. So the bottom line is my heart breaks for the dog, and it also breaks for the guardians in a way. You know, when people get a dog from a shelter or buy a dog, whatever they do, first of all, you should adopt, not buy. But if they have a dog and they have an issue with the dog, resolve it. But very often, people don't know, and they say if someone hangs a shingle, dog trainer, behaviorist, this, that, or the other thing, they go there. They don't check them out carefully enough. Here's the bottom line. Anytime it looks abusive, it sounds abusive, it smells abusive, and anytime there's fear involved, you need to take a different approach. I just wish I lived in Georgia and had more time. I'd love to get my hands. I wish I can get my hands on so many of the people that call in with issues like this. But it's an issue that can be resolved. I hope these people find someone that they can work with, build up the dog's confidence, and hope this dog can have a normal, healthy, happy life. He or she deserves it. What are your thoughts?